Yeah, what is the Winston-Salem coffee shop count now? Like 30?
Oh my gosh.
40?
There's so many.
I was talking to Colin about this. It's like every coffee shop that goes in,
But they all do
they
so well.
all do so well. It's like they all just find a new area. It's like your coffee shop, you like this,
Yes.
like, and you go to it for different things.
Yes.
Like lavender and honey, like you go in there, you're just like getting some decadent treats. You're sitting out, you're feeling like you're in a little French cafe, and then you like go to say so. It's kind of like a little divey spot that you want to like tell your friends about because it's a little bit off the beaten path. And
Yeah.
they all do well, but I haven't been to Given yet. Do
Me
you know what they roast? No, we need to try out Given. Let us know.
Are we streaming?
Oh yeah,
right
we're
now?
rolling. This is the way we go.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
not streaming. I wish.
If we were live, no, we're not quite brave enough for that.
To an
yet.
audience of 3,000, say hello.
Hello.
No, but we are rolling.
Yeah, we are rolling.
3,000.
So you're no.
No, not yet.
But you're doing great.
Well, now that you're on, there'll be 3,000.
No.
Exactly.
Christy, good to have you.
Hi, Seth.
You got your coffee?
I do have my coffee.
We all go way back, and I knew you before you were unbelievably and incredibly famous, and
Not
everybody
famous.
was so. You are, but it's okay. But you're amongst friends, so we're just trying to ride off of the. We're just trying to ride behind your creative wake and what
Great.
you're doing here in Winston. So
well, you do your own thing, and you're kind of one of the reasons why I started my own thing.
No,
I
that's
was like,
not true. You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that just because you're on the
Seth,
podcast.
No, seriously. I mean, being in Flywheel, watching all these people do their own thing and have their own business, I was like, I can do that. Like,
Yeah.
and
you
so-
do it effortlessly. That's what I couldn't figure out because it was.
It's not.
It appears to be effortless. It
I'm
appears
not
to be-
trying to give off that vibe.
So I know. No, not like you don't put effort into it. I mean, like it is so stinking natural.
Oh,
That's what I was.
yes.
like,
it feels very natural.
because
to
I
me.
knew you for. I mean, I must have known you for like a year and a half while you were doing then Explore Winston and now GoTo Winston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't even tell me like that you were doing. Maybe I was just like maybe I was completely in my own world, but I didn't even know. And then you told me that I was like, wait, you're really going to do this full time? And I mean, it seemed like you just came out of nowhere. So let's go back.
Okay, let's go back.
Because you're not from Winston, right?
No, I'm from right outside DC, a town called McLean.
Okay, he's from Baltimore. We know you're from Maryland area, right?
We would play McLean in basketball.
Did you lose or?
I would not. I would
You're
watch from the bench.
Where'd you go to
us
high school?
play McLean. Covenant Life School. It's part of a church.
you played McLean
PVAC. I don't know. Yeah, we played
in the
a
regular
school
season.
in McLean. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So McLean, my fun fact is that I lived across the street from the CIA for 18 years.
The CIA, what does that mean?
The Central Intelligence Agency.
I know what CIA stands for.
Great answer.
I know what it stands for. So it's like their national compound you're across the street from?
Yeah, do you ever watch like crime shows and they're like Langley, coming from Langley or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were in Langley.
Langley was my rival high school.
Oh.
And so, I mean, I didn't live across the street from
That's what I was going to say.
CIA.
Because across
But,
the
like,
street, I would
CIA,
imagine it's like.
I lived in the neighborhood across the street from the CIA.
Okay. Yeah, let's be specific here, please. Okay. We only cater in facts.
But a family friend one time accidentally took a wrong turn and entered the CIA, thinking it was our neighborhood. Like,
Last
that's
you
how
ever
close
saw
it
her.
is.
I was holding back from taking over again, but literally the same thing happened to me, and we were on our way to some it was a field trip, and then whoever was the chaperone, we just accidentally walked up, drove up to the
With
CIA.
a chaperone?
Yeah, in their minivan, and so then this guard comes with a crazy assault rifle.
Oh, they surround your car.
It was terrifying.
And
You know that chaperone was like, if I'm ever going to try this, I'm going to try when I have a bunch of kids in the car because they won't think anything of it and just pull it in. So what happened to your friend?
he was surrounded with big AK-47s. Is that a big gun?
It is.
know.
I doubt they had AK-47s.
Very large guns. And then he was like,
grab those springs just so they. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, keep going.
he was reaching for his license or something.
Oh,
which
what
was
a-
really stupid of him.
so stupid.
But it's now a fun story. But also during high school, there used to be one time there was a like a bomb shelter practice or something, and my sister was home alone and she didn't hear. She was in high school, but she didn't hear the warning or like this is a test or something.
So wait, what, this is like sirens going off?
Yeah,
This
she
is like
didn't-
around 9/11, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't hear that it was like a test or something. So all she heard was like, we are under attack, seek shelter now. I don't know why I'm laughing. It was scary at the time, but
Her fear was so funny. No, but that was the thing around, I was listening to Snowden. What's his name? Edward Snowden? Yeah, Edward Snowden. Thank you, David. And he was talking about, on 9/11, they didn't know where the next plane was going to hit. It hit Pentagon.
we thought it was the CIA next. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm talking to you. You were, I assume you were alive during that time. I don't know how
I
old
was
you
in
are.
kindergarten.
You were in kindergarten. Wow. Okay. So that, like, parents were like coming, picking kids up from school and like what, like going to shelters? stuff?
No, not that I remember.
It was just like go home and
I mean, we couldn't have like gone anywhere because, they didn't really know because then there were one that crashed in Pennsylvania in a random
Right.
field. So they didn't want, it was just stay at home kind of a thing. But we didn't turn the TV on. No TVs were on, no radios were on because if we like heard it, like I'm sure my dad was listening to it, but if we were like, the CIA, mommy, that's where we live, right? Kind of a thing. But I mean, all my friends' parents who like worked in DC, like my parents didn't work in DC, but it was like they weren't hearing from their family or their parents. And then my grandparents and cousins and aunt and uncle work in New York City. So like my dad was just trying to reach them all day.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
it's wild. I taught fourth grade for 6 years or something like that. And it was wild at some point, September 11th, having to enter into like history things. Like that was like one of the first
To
things.
teach it?
Yeah, to teach it. Be like, all right, kids, you don't know, like you used to be able to go to the airport and you used to be able to walk down with like your family or whoever you were traveling with. You used to go to the gate
Yeah.
and you didn't have to take your shoes off.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to do any of this stuff. And essentially no one knew where Afghanistan was.
But it's
And
also crazy to think that there was no security.
no, there wasn't. Exactly. You just went in. Maybe there was metal detectors. I do remember metal detectors and you had to like pass your key off to the side and stuff like that. But yeah, in Greensboro, maybe there even wasn't at the time. But we had to teach them what September 11th did to the entire world and what that event was like. That and Y2K. I was taking one of my
I was 5
kids
for
home one
that,
time.
so.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, a little bit, but we were listening. I think we were listening to NPR at the time, and they were talking about because it was like I don't know, 10 years after or something like that, Y2K, and they were talking about this. He was like, Mr. Wingate, what was Y2K? I was like, all right, listen, if you can believe it, there was a time when everybody thought as soon as the clocks hit 00 for 2000 that the world was going to end and like planes were going to drop out of the sky and all the computers were going to go off. We're going to go back to the old age. And my parents were like buying honey and rice. And we had family members who were like buying chickens and cows and all this, like the world. And he's like, whoa, what happened? And I was like, nothing happened. Nothing, which I guess was good. Maybe they, I'm sure they did a lot of like programming and stuff like that and like engineering some things. But for all of us, it was just a big laugh at the
Yeah.
time. But things like modern history that now I know like they're actually having to teach people. It's kind of, that's how you know you're getting old.
I don't want to have to teach the past 2 years.
Oh gosh. Bring it all around, Christy. Oh
Yeah.
oh gosh. I don't even want to think about it. But now COVID's over.
Apparently.
It's just completely over. And we'll never think about it again.
Yeah, I know. We just got the 2 free tests or 4 free tests in the mail from the post
What?
office. Yeah.
I didn't know about
Did you
this.
get that? There was this thing where if you like submitted your like just typed in your address, they sent you 4 free COVID like rapid tests. And we got them in the mail last
Are
week.
they the good ones?
Yeah, and we were like, well, are we ever going to use this again? Like
We won't until after the election. I'll tell you that.
oh, yeah.
Just in time for the election.
Or when the like Ukraine-Russia war is over, which hopefully is soon. But then COVID will exist
right.
again.
Yeah, they can't do both like lockdowns and gas prices.
Yes.
They're kind of picking and choosing. those folks. But yeah, I need to sign up and get my COVID.
I don't know if you can still do it.
Okay, I'll have some of yours.
Okay.
I'll take 2 of yours.
Sounds
No,
good.
I was actually supposed to go film an event a couple weeks ago, and you had to have a rapid test done ahead of time, and I was like, man, I just I don't even know where to go get one. Honestly, at this point, this was maybe like, I don't know, a couple months ago, and went and picked up like one of the quick ones. Came home and was like, you know what, I'm gonna test before we get there, and they actually like do the testing at the event and stuff like that. And I don't know how reliable these are. Like, literally, I did the test, like, went to work back on my car. My wife came out. She's like, not looking good. I was like, what? And I went and looked, and supposedly, according to this test, I was positive.
Oh, man.
So it would have been really embarrassing if I had showed up, at this event, like, to shoot it. And they were like, oh, by the way, like, you can't even. Well, actually, I wasn't shooting it. I was just going to the event. But I'd shown up, and they had said, like, oh yeah, by the way, you're positive, and I had to like go home. So
I saw this TikTok.
talk to me.
And it was a wife walking up to her husband on the couch and handing him a positive COVID test. But he thought it was a positive pregnancy test. And he was like, babe, this is not funny. This, like, why are you doing this?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he was gonna start crying.
No, like, why are you filming this? Like, we weren't trying. Like, what's going on? And she was like, babe, look at it. And he was like, I know. We're not ready for this. And she's like, it's a COVID test.
Oh gosh. We had that would probably be both terrifying and then relief. And depending on how much you wanted kids, it would be the exact opposite, depending on who you were. Y'all don't have any kids yet, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, gotcha. We had our first 3 months ago.
Yes.
Have I showed you pictures?
Yes.
You've probably seen it.
Yes.
Okay, you live on Instagram. Not live on Instagram. Are you on TikTok yet?
Yes.
Ayo. How many followers? Is it
Only-
followers on TikTok?
Only 250. It's a
Come
lot
on,
harder.
y'all. Let's get really.
It's so much harder.
How's it different?
You just have to be on it more and post a lot because there's like no stories and no like posts. So the only way is videos. So it just.
Are there still hashtags?
Yeah.
I'm such an old guy. I have no idea. I've never downloaded TikTok. So are there hashtags? But that's just
There
like not the
are.
way you get discovered.
That you do get discovered that way.
Okay.
But it's harder because it's all videos.
Uh-huh.
So, but on Instagram, you can stand out with your guides. Like there's Instagram guides, there's Reels, there's IGTV, there's posts, there's Instagram stories. It's more of I feel like it's more of Instagram is more of interactive, like socially, because you can comment on TikTok, but I feel like you can like share other people's posts to your stories on Instagram, but you can't do that on TikTok.
And are people really going to TikTok for comments? Like, I feel like comments is like one of the things on Instagram that, it's either awful or amazing, but there's a little more communal feeling, I feel like, a little bit on that. Is that the case on TikTok?
I agree with what you're saying. It doesn't feel the case on TikTok.
Yeah.
I feel like TikTok is more people buying things from TikTok because they see it and then they buy it there. I feel like that is more saturated in TikTok world.
Are there
than
ads?
Instagram. There are ads.
Okay.
Yeah. But I get really deep into TikTok.
You get really deep into TikTok?
Yeah, it's like not good.
That's it's like, because immediately as you get on, it's like videos are playing and it's just like this.
And it knows you. Like mine are dogs. Like owning your own business.
Uh-huh.
And then like weird husband and wife things. Like the husband gets in the car and in the wife's car and there's no gas. Like I feel like that always happens with me and my husband. So
skit and funny scenario stuff.
Yeah. But then it's confusing because I always send them to people, but I then go to text message to send them. So it's like less sending within TikTok. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
And do they?
I'm not an expert on it.
I guess they do it that because so folks have to open up the app to get back to see what their friends sent them.
Yeah,
Who knows?
but I feel you could have like full conversations on Instagram. Like some people
Right.
I like only talk to via DMs.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not had the capacity to learn it yet.
It's a completely different world for me. I feel like if I can just master maybe one or two things, and I haven't
Yeah.
mastered even one of them yet. So I haven't really messed on it. I know it's powerful, obviously,
Yes.
and people have built huge careers based out of it, but I just really haven't.
It's interesting
into
because
yet.
some people who are really famous on TikTok, I go to their Instagram and they don't have that many followers. I'm
Right.
like, good for you, you know?
Everything's curated. I mean, I think it's slowly moving more and more, which Instagram, what were you saying at one point, David? That like Instagram wants to be, it's not a photo sharing platform
video,
anymore.
yeah.
It is a video sharing platform now, which is great for us if I actually did anything with it. But I mean, everything is going that way. It's like, remember like what Facebook used to be? Mm-hmm. And then Instagram came along and Facebook was like, whoa, we got to change. Or like even like Facebook and then Twitter came along.
Yes.
And Facebook was like, all right, well now we need like only like text posts, the whole thing. And now you're just going to have like a thread instead of going in and like actually finding people's pages and interacting with them. And then like Instagram comes along and everybody tries to rechange for that.
And then Pinterest.
And then
Pinterest now has videos.
What's Pinterest?
You don't know
I'm
what
just
Pinterest?
kidding. Yeah.
Oh.
That's like the bottom. I forget that ever even exists.
I mean, when
But yeah,
I was like growing up, Pinterest was just where you like reshared
exactly.
your dream wedding dress.
Right. I did that a lot when I was teaching. Because people were always sharing like, this is the way to teach the Pythagorean theorem through like crafts or whatever like that.
Why did
And
we
so I was
ever
on there.
learn that? What's
We're
the
using
point
it
of
today.
You are?
I have no idea.
Oh.
No, I have no.
You're being sarcastic again.
I have no idea. No, I don't. I have no idea. You know, do you ever? I do think the art of learning how to learn things
Yeah.
is actually what school should be about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that regard, I think I lean a little bit more like classical. Like, why should you read Shakespeare?
I have no idea.
I think you should read it simply like for exposure to some of the greatest works that there's ever been in the world. You know, like why is the Pythagorean theorem important? Probably not at all in day-to-day life. But if school is about learning how to learn and being exposed to things that maybe are a little bit trickier to understand, and coupled with like actually like finance, investing, money management, even like conflict and resolution type things, like that's what I would think would be more important. But yeah, just like as a strict skill of figuring out like the long side of a triangle, there ain't no reason for the vast majority of us.
Yeah, no.
For the vast majority of us. Have you seen a big difference? What's the difference in between, would you say, the culture from where you grew up, moving to Winston-Salem, what, like 4 years ago?
I've only been in Winston-Salem for a year and a half.
What?
Oh, 2 years. Almost 2 years.
Come on.
Yeah, I moved in May of 2020.
So when you came to work at Flywheel, that was like
It was
right
September of
then.
2020 was when
Wow.
I started working at Flywheel. I lived in Charlotte for 2 years, met my now husband there. We got engaged. He got a job in Winston-Salem. He moved in February of 2020,
Wow.
right before everything happened. And we were getting married in May of 2020. And so I told my company in Charlotte, we were like all really close. So I was like, they obviously knew my husband moved and we were getting married in May. So they're like, okay, you're leaving in May. And I was like, yeah. And then the pandemic happened and then May came along and we postponed our wedding to September. But then my company in Charlotte was like, we had financially prepared for you to be here until May and we can't afford you anymore.
Wow.
Because of the pandemic and everything. So then I moved up here with the family friend, lived with them until September, kind of just looked for jobs for 3 months, but obviously that didn't really go well during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But also planning a COVID wedding was like a full-time job, as I'm sure you can understand that. So I did that and I explored Winston.
There we go. That's what I was
There we
gonna.
go.
And cut. End of episode. So how did that whole thing start?
So when I lived in Charlotte, there was a fabulous resource. It used to be called the Charlotte Agenda, and now it is called Charlotte Axios. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But
AXIOS?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
And it's now like kind of political. It used to not be political. It used to just be
Like everything in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It used to be, this is what to do on the weekend. This new restaurant is opening. these are 10 things to do when it rains in Charlotte, or it's Charlotte, so here's 2,000 things to do when it rains in Charlotte. And I never went to anything in Charlotte because I got like decision paralysis where there were so many things to do. I just stayed home, and parking is a nightmare, but I always loved to know that there were so many things to do.
Live
I just
vicariously.
love to watch everything. I like, yeah. And then so when I moved here, there wasn't a resource like that at the time. And I mean, of course, it was in a pandemic, so nothing was really going on. But I vividly remember driving. I don't even think my husband and I were married yet. I think it was like August of 2020, driving around Winston and being like, Chris, what if I started the Charlotte agenda here? Ha ha ha, that'd be so funny. And he was like, yeah, that would be fun. And that was the end of that. And then I didn't tell him I had started this Instagram account called Explore Winston-Salem. For about a month and a half, no one knew about it because I don't know if I was.
What do you say starting it? Like you're already posting, you're
yeah,
going
I was
out,
just
you're exploring and stuff?
But just for fun, just because I had no job. It was summer, so it was nice outside. That's all you could do is just be outside. And I also think a little bit of it had to do with I had to change my wedding. And so we got married at the Windmock, and the whole party was going to be there and everything. But then we couldn't have the party there. We could only have the ceremony there. So I needed to find like a restaurant that could, in order to fit the guidelines at that time, I needed an event venue that could be that was classified as a restaurant, so I could have 50% capacity of the restaurant.
Okay.
So I could at least have my bridal party at my wedding. So
that's important.
It is. And our parents and siblings in there, because at the Windmock at the time, they weren't classified as a restaurant, so we could only have 10 people at the party, but we could have unlimited people at the ceremony.
Wait.
Yeah.
Because it was outside?
Because it's a religious ceremony.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about all these exemptions.
But that was Governor Cooper's thing, but restaurants could have 50% capacity. So I started looking around town and really started to find all these places that I didn't know about. Like I didn't even know that Footnote was a thing. In like Grayland and the barn at Renolda and all these different places. So I kind of just became an expert on venues in town because I was looking for one, and I came across Brookstown Inn, and that is where we ended up having our kind of reception. It was really just a rehearsal dinner vibe. It was a seated dinner with 30 people, bridal party, spouses, and my immediate family. But I kind of started researching about Winston because I had to, and I was looking for a job. So I started to learn more about all the companies here and what was in Winston. And then I had time, so I just like went on runs and walked downtown and walked in Renolda Village. And just, I think the combination of those three things made me fall in love with Winston. And so I started the Instagram account purely because I was like, I want to remember all these places and I don't want it to be on my personal Instagram. So it was a Finsta, a fake Instagram account, which is like what middle schoolers do now to hide their private life, like their party life from their parents or something. Sorry if middle schoolers.
Call it out.
I just exposed you.
Parents go check.
But, and then I told my husband like a month and a half later, I mean, it was only like, I only had like 400 followers, but I was like, hey, I started this thing. And then I started telling more people. And in January of 2021 was the first time I was like, this could be a thing. Like, I think I just created this thing that was really.
What made you think that?
People were wanting to meet with me to discuss promoting their business.
Oh, wow.
On the page. And
how many followers at that time?
It was only like, this time last year I had like 3,000 followers.
Yeah, but see, 3,000 in a city of 250 is, do the math, better than, however many followers in New York, or
Exactly.
Chicago or whatever. And okay, yeah. So
And it was like at the time, it was the only resource. There were previous resources, but they got like put on pause because of the pandemic.
right, which is when people wanted to know, I think, the most.
Exactly.
That's smart.
So I think it wasn't smart. It was just,
It was smart, but
I wasn't like, there was no strategy behind it. And so then I started the newsletter in January of 2021 because I like started listening to all these marketing podcasts all the time. And, you don't own your Instagram followers at any time. Instagram could shut down or Instagram could no longer be a
Right.
thing in 3 years or something, but you own your email subscribers. So I started the email list also because there were more things that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't just want to put like lists on Instagram. I wanted the Instagram to look pretty, to have a brand, to be curated, not just like throwing words at it all the time. So I started the newsletter, which gives it's more informative. It's kind of like a newspaper as opposed to like guides, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So in March, I actually changed. Everything was in first person until a year ago this month. I was like, I went here. I like this place. I ate this. And then I switched because I didn't want to be seen as an influencer. Not that there's anything wrong with influencers, but I didn't want the brand to be about me. Meaning if like I ever leave Winston, I want the GoTo Winston-Salem to continue on.
Right.
But it couldn't if it was based around my life.
Right.
So I switched to third person. So I am multiple people.
So what? She went here. We yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
We went here.
You and the dog.
Me and the dog. In reality, it's like me and my husband, but no one knew that.
Yeah.
My husband refuses. He's like, I'm never showing my face on there. I don't want people to know I exist. But he really was he's my other half. So
Yeah.
he's the we, but, so I was coming home every day.
So when you first, sorry, to go back. So when you first realized, like, man, this could be a thing. People were interested. They wanted to promote their business. How did you start navigating about that?
Yeah, so...
Because it feels kind of like a dog catching a car. Maybe at some point, it's kind of like, what does it say?
I don't know what that means.
Well, like a dog doesn't
I
know
what
it
that
would.
means.
Okay, gotcha. Wouldn't know what to do if he caught it. So you kind of got to this point, and then what happened after that?
So actually, in February, my dad has had his own business for 35 years. He used to be a lawyer, but he's had his own business, and he's the smartest man I know. And my husband and I called him, and we were like, we have this thing, and we don't know what to do about it. It's either just going to be a fun thing, or it's going to be like my career. And so my husband and I went down to their house, and we had a brainstorming session for a whole weekend. There was like poster board all over the living room of what do I want my vision to be? What do I want my business to be about? How am I going to make money? What will I not do? What will I do? What will I not accept? What does a business have to do in order to advertise with us? Like all of these things. And then I had 500 email subscribers at the time and 2,300 Instagram followers. Looking back now, I'm like, why did I think this could be a thing with that few people? But
because traction, right? Because
there was a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
And people were wanting to meet with me. And at that time, I had an 8 to 5 at Flywheel, and so I couldn't meet with people. And so I got home from work, or I got home, left here, went to a meeting at like 5:10. Went home, worked on the newsletter, worked on Instagram until like 10. So I was working like all day.
Yeah.
And my dad and my husband, we all sat down and we were like, okay, this can be a thing, but you can't do it while still working at Flywheel. Like you can't quit and not have something to give you money, but you need like a freelancing job. You need your time. So like the Lord just provided, and this freelancing job fell in my lap of 20 hours a week that would like
doing what?
Marketing.
Oh, awesome.
So I then learned marketing.
Perfect.
In addition, got paid, and that I was able to do those 20 hours whenever I wanted during the week. So I could have meetings all day Monday and Tuesday if I wanted, and then work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I quit Flywheel in April, and I actually cried when I told Andrew. I just walked into her and I was like, I have to tell you something. And I just started crying, and she was like, you're leaving, aren't you? I was like,
That's so kind, though.
yeah.
Well, it was also probably maybe a little bit scary knowing
It
what
was
Did
scary.
you already have this part-time thing lined up?
I did.
Okay, gotcha.
It literally fell in my lap. It was like a no-brainer to do it. So that just freed up my time. So it hasn't even been a year. And I actually quit that job. I did 20 hours a week from April. For 2 weeks, I had 3 jobs. It was really hard. But I did 20 hours from April to September. And in September and October, I had gotten so busy that I had to get down to 15 hours. November and December, I was
so busy, like posting
with the
or
GoTo Winston-Salem.
because you were meeting with so many people, like trying to generate so much new content and newsletters and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sponsorships and starting to get paid. And I mean, at one point, I'd say I spend about 40 to 70 hours, depending on the week, with the GoTo Winston-Salem. And then doing that on top of my freelancing job, it was at like 80 hours a week I was working.
Wow.
So then I dropped down to that. And then November and December, I was only doing 5 hours for them because I had like no time.
What was taking 70 hours? I mean, like that may be like, that's obviously a very ignorant question, but I mean, is that like so many posts a day, or you're putting so much effort in and driving and all this like?
Yeah, so it's creating content, it's finding the content, it's figuring out what people want to know about. So there is a lot of psychology in this, in trying to think of what people want at this time of the year, or what are people needing right now. I look in Facebook groups a lot on frequent questions that people are asking.
That's smart.
And like, for example, people are posting a lot because wedding season or graduation season, where can I host events? So I saw that in November, people doing that for a Christmas party. So I was like, oh, let me create that resource. So I created that, and now people are asking it again. So now I just put my link into my website for that blog. So I can see what people are wanting there. I can see what responding to DMs every day is a whole job in itself.
Oh gosh.
And then people are now submitting events to me, and I have to find the events for the newsletter. So I spend like all day Wednesday, half of the day Tuesday is researching for events, because I don't want just to include the events that if a company is doing their advertising well and has the capacity to do it, then everyone's going to know about the event. But I want to promote the events that people just put it on their Instagram and hope people show up. I want to find those events.
So you're still staying really close to, it's still really close to in that way of, I loved what you were saying, like, because on the one hand, like, I know you're looking through Facebook groups, like to try to see what are like commonly asked questions so you actually have something to post. But at the same time, what you're saying is like people actually need to know these things, and you're trying to be a resource for that, which is great, because it's like, it is what people actually want. I mean, there's not a single time that I go to Winston now and I'm not like, oh, wish I'd seen that before, like it's actually happening and stuff like that. So that's awesome. Like actually helping people with that.
And then in the beginning, it was really monetizing it. It was.
Are all of your posts still up? Like all the way back there? Let's pull up and see some of the stuff we've got on there. But it was really, you already got there. Timmies Hot Chicken. Love that place. It'll melt your face right off.
Yeah.
Have you been at Timmies Hot Chicken?
So
I might have to
my
go
husband
right after
has.
this. Oh my gosh.
That's my husband's
so
picture. I taught him so
good.
well. Look at that picture.
Wow. Come on, Chris.
I'm gluten-free.
Everybody's going to know after this. Oh, that's right. But
so I sent him with the business card.
Do they have
a lot
anything
of
that's like not
restaurants.
fried?
Mm-mm.
No. Well, their fries are amazing.
Yeah.
But it starts at medium.
So
Like
if
no
you look at
mild.
the
That's what I'm
post,
talking
there's
about.
fire in it. It says, And their chicken is even hotter.
King Pop Winston-Salem says, yeah.
I wonder if it's really hot. It is. According to my husband.
It is. My buddy, I went there with him, and I got the hot. I got the very hot, and he got the medium. And sorry, Timmies, they accidentally swapped the order. And so he's eating, and I was like, man, it's honestly not that much hotter than like the wings, because we got wings and sandwich. He was dying. Like he was just like bowl of sweat, just like downing it. And beer makes wings so much hotter. Any like carbonation, anything like that makes it so much. So he was melting through the floor. And I was like, come on, man, you're like big sissy. And the waiter came out. I was like, is it possible that these got switched around? And he was like, oh, yeah, that's the end. And I ate that one. And yeah, even for me, it was hot. But for him, it melted him. Poor guy. Timmy's is awesome. So was that somewhere you found, or did they say like, come and check us out?
Yeah. So most of the places I find, if someone invites me to come and not pays for it, if they pay me or give me free meal in any way, I disclose that because you have to by law. Yeah. But so my husband just went. He was like, I told him, I was like, there's this new chicken place in town. This was when it first opened. He went opening week, which I think was early last fall. Yeah. But so whenever.
Is that Board Babe stuff right there?
That is not. That's Wanderlust.
Okay.
That was from our first event we had, which was a huge success.
Oh, at Melrose Coffee and Wine.
Yeah. So nice. It was.
This was your event.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was sold out, and it was a ton of fun. People met so many people. The goal of it was I had so many people messaging me. Again, most of my stuff comes from a need that I see or a need that people are messaging me about. So the need was people are saying, where can I meet people in Winston-Salem? Yeah. And honestly, for me, my answer, like all of my friends are from church.
Right.
And so the answers that I've been giving people are, join a gym, join a co-working space. Short plug for Flywheel.
Ayo, Flywheel. Flywheel is an amazing deal. But yeah, keep going.
It is. Join a co-working place, join a run clubs. But if people are like, I don't want to work out, where do I meet people? Because all my answers are join a gym. Right. You meet friends there. And especially if you don't drink, it was like, where can I meet new people and I don't drink? And that's really hard to do as an adult. So I created an event where you can meet people. So it was a mix and mingle, and the point of it was to meet new friends. So we had these bingo cards that I'm sure you did this in middle school. Like we used to hate it because it was so.
I was homeschooled, so probably not. So I knew everyone in my class, but okay.
It was so annoying, but because you already knew people in middle school and you already had your friends. But here it was find someone who's hiked all 7 miles of Salem Lake. Find someone who's been to a Winston-Salem Dash game, and it was you write their names in each space. Right. And if you get bingo, you get a prize. So that was the mix and mingling portion of it. And then there was the charcuterie grazing table. There were drinks from Melrose and Foothills. There was a photo booth and prizes for the bingo. And actually, my husband, last week texted me and was like, oh my goodness, guess who was at Joymongers? And it was a girl and a guy that met at my event.
Ayo, that's the next thing you're starting is the GoTo Winston dating app.
Well, I told when I
you could officiate their wedding.
I told them at the event, I was like, if you meet a new friend, like that's the goal. If you meet your spouse here, we are expecting an invitation. Like we deserve to be invited to your wedding. So that it was just kind of like funny. Like that's not going to happen. I don't know if they're dating or anything, but Chris was like, guess who I saw? So.
That's so great. That's so great. That's such a great thing to do. And so I assume you're going to do more of those?
We actually are having one at the end of April.
Nice. Where at?
It hasn't been officially signed, but.
Oh, okay. You can tell me off the air.
I will.
After we go here. That's awesome.
But somewhere on the street.
Man. You said somewhere on the street?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you think you'll have to shut down part of the street?
No.
To do it? Okay.
Like it's in downtown.
I need to connect you actually with my friend in Greensboro called, her name's Shayla. And you know what the Danielle Blanc is? Danielle Blanc is like this picnic supper club type thing.
Is it called Supper Club?
No, it's called Danielle Blanc.
Okay.
But it's like it started in France, and it's this private. Well, it's not private. I guess it's actually very public. But you buy a ticket. You have to wear all white.
Oh my gosh.
You bring your own like little picnic table and chairs and stuff like that. Actually, you bring all your own food unless like you choose their catering option or whatever like that. But the whole thing is that it's every like city that has a Danielle Blanc tries to find the most ridiculously exclusive, crazy place to have it. So like the one in France.
So you're
from a
selling
couple years ago.
exclusivity, basically.
Yeah.
Which everyone is into.
So the one in Greensboro, I'm not really good at my Greensboro geography, but there's that one huge bank that kind of looks like the Empire State Building. You know, it's got like the lights in there. It's like in the main, right downtown.
I know nothing about Greensboro.
It's like Tryon or something. They shut down that entire, like basically block and a half, and people were, which is like huge tables. When David comes back in, I'll have him pull it up. Like huge tables, just filling the streets. Everybody's in white, and then like huge dance party afterwards. I think they had like 2,000 people there. So like, yeah, huge stuff like
crazy.
that. So I know that they're looking to get more. So I'll connect you with her after that. But yeah, just all the things in Winston. Are you still finding things? Do you feel like organically, or is at this point people are just coming to you and you're posting?
Most of it is organic.
That's so awesome.
So unless it says there was a paid post,
okay,
I'm just promoting it because I want it to be organic. I don't want the whole Instagram to be paid for. So that's kind of something that when we were looking for sponsors, I mean, when we do look for sponsors, it's not a past tense thing. We are still accepting sponsorships. But it was kind of like, I would never ask a restaurant or a coffee shop to be a sponsor, because I'm going to talk about you anyways. I'm going to go to your restaurant. I'm going to drink your coffee regardless if you are paying me or not. But there are the companies that, for example, Flywheel's a sponsor. I naturally would not talk about Flywheel.
Right.
Or, I would not naturally talk about F45 and Cycle Bar, my gyms that are sponsors, like every day. You know, I'm going to talk about the coffee I had that morning because I worked from the coffee shop that day. I'm not going to talk about the Ginther Group is our exclusive real estate agent.
Who is?
The Ginther Group.
Oh, cool.
I'm not going to talk about a house that I see.
Right.
Or who you should go to buy or sell your house. Like, those are the type of sponsors we're looking for, because the things that I do naturally, I'm going to post about.
Yeah, well, you fill in all the other elements, and then you also are a great resource for realtor or gyms. Man, my one F45 workout that I did blasted me.
They're so good.
Crushed me.
They're so good.
But anything that you do, like if you're not used to like jump roping and you go out and jump rope, it'll crush you. There's an element of like, if you're not exposed like to whatever it is, like wall sits will crush you.
Anything will crush you.
Yeah. If you're not like for the first time, but for the first time workout that we went there, it was a blast. It's so fun.
It's so fun. They have live DJs at workouts.
What?
And starting in April, their coal pit workouts are going to be back, where they bring out the yoga mats to the coal pit. There's a workout there, and then you go and have a beer.
Oh yeah. And a pizza.
Yeah.
Love
so
it.
like those are our sponsors. And then, if someone is having an event and if they want extra exposure, then they would pay for that, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. No, it's awesome.
So it's never things that, like Carolina Basement Systems is a sponsor too.
Right. You're not going to crawling around in people's crawl spaces every day to say, look at this. Yeah.
But if they see it over time, when they do need help with their crawl
100%.
space, they're going to be like, Carolina Basement Systems. I've seen that name multiple times. I don't know where, but I've seen it, so I'm going to call them.
And as long as they're the trusted go-to in Winston-Salem, they'll get the call.
Exactly.
I believe it. How is 600?
It was so good.
Oh, I want to go so bad.
It was delicious.
That's the coolest space. It looks amazing, beautiful in there. In fact, we were going to go. I was going to take my wife there the past 2 or 3 weekends because it's like a high end, kind of French. What they've got local Wagyu beef,
Yes.
right?
Everything is local. So when I talked to the owner there, he was like, we are farm to table, but we don't want to say farm to table because everyone is saying farm to table now.
It carries, and also
he was like,
carries this,
but we literally are farm to table. And I was like, okay.
Whatever they are, it looks delicious.
But then there's so many new things going in. I mean, we could have a whole nother podcast on everything new that's coming to Winston.
You need to. Have you started your podcast yet?
No.
Oh,
I'm not going to
you
do
should.
that.
Oh, you should.
I'll have to let you do that.
It's so much fun. You don't always have to talk to someone like me. Sometimes you can actually talk to interesting people.
What do you mean? You are interesting.
I know. I'm just trying to get you to say that.
But there's a burger bar that is going next to 600. They have one restaurant in Morrisville, and it was voted the best burger in Charlotte last year.
Let's go.
So if you're looking at the Bailey smokestacks, it's to the left of 600, and then to the right of 600 is a bar that's coming in. They Dram and Trout. They have locations in Durham, Greensboro, Raleigh. So those will be up by the end of the year.
It's just a bar. It's not a brewery or anything. Okay.
I think they're known for like their whiskey.
Let's go.
And then, the Porch just announced yesterday that this has been coming it hasn't been public knowledge until yesterday, but they are opening a new restaurant in South Winston on Broad Street. There are a few places coming in. There's a new gym that's going to be there. There's a new brewery that's going to be there. Lesser known brewery is what it's called.
Wait. On Broad Street? Mm-hmm. Well, like past Salem?
Yeah.
Past Piedmont College?
Yeah. So there's nothing. I've been getting lots of messages because I posted like the rendering of it. And people are like, where is this? And I'm like, you don't recognize it because it's not built yet.
Oh,
they're like repurposing some old buildings. But there's a few other places that I know are going to be there, but it's not public knowledge what they are yet. So I'll tell you off the record.
Yes, tell me. I want to know, man.
I find those things because I'm constantly having my ear to the ground.
What's your is there a specific place you're always going and looking, like Smitty's notes or anything? Or
no,
you just looking all over?
Just looking all over. Like in Facebook groups, people are like, I drove by this place today. Does anyone know what's going in there? And then the next day I get in the car and drive there and figure it out.
If this, it will work out, what you're doing with it, go to Winston-Salem, but if it doesn't, it sounds like you could be like a PI or something like that.
I have great investigation skills. Or I have friends, who are like, Christy, I was driving by this place and it says opening soon.
I want to ask you something.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So, and if you don't know, see if you can tell me at some point on Silas Creek.
Okay.
Where Silas Creek right where Lidl is. Do you know, like Silas Creek?
Where Culver's is?
Yes.
Okay.
You've got your priorities, right? Culver's over Lidl every day. Right where there is this building that looks like it has to be some sort of like government CIA.
Yes, I have no idea.
It
looks like there's a barricade around it.
No, there is, and it's got it's got razor wire around it. And I know somebody who used to be in the CIA, and like we drove by that one point, and he was like, "That looks so much like a government building." And CIA, right across from Langley. You grew up there. You would recognize it from the outside. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely looks like something important, but it's not something
you probably
I'm going to post
know,
about.
And you
so
can't tell me.
No, I don't know.
You just can't tell me. That's okay.
But
yeah, it's got the poles, like the thing where if you drive over it, there's little holes in the ground where those rods are going to come up and crush your car. I want to know.
You should drive in there accidentally.
There.
And then you'll know.
I just need a couple kids with me to
in a van.
Pretend that I was on a field trip. No. Yeah, there's so many things constantly going on. So what's your radius?
Anything that touches Winston. Like
zip code wise? Or
I'm thinking of a map, like anything that touches downtown Winston. So
do you go to Advance, Clemens?
Mm-hmm, Advance, Clemens, It's like South Winston, like Acadia area, Kernersville, Louisville, Paughtown, because I live in Paughtown.
You ever think you're going to get tired of doing what you're doing? I mean, it seems like you got so much energy. Is it still like just like fun now, or is it like more satisfying knowing that you're actually providing something that people like are really interested in, you're actually like helping?
So now we rely on it.
Okay.
To pay our bill.
And so you're like, yeah, it's going to keep going. That's great.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
I mean, it doesn't seem like you're tired of it, like over it. I'm sure
No,
everything
I'm not
changes.
tired. It's constantly changing. I have so many ideas that I want to do. And right now, here I go again. I am deciding whether or not I want to hire someone to help me. Because in the next 2 years, like my husband and I want to have a kid, and I can't work 70 hours a week and have a kid.
I don't know if you should be working 70 hours a week now, but yeah, you do what you have to.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But
just let me know. I'll be ready.
yeah, but we're talking to a few people right now about some help. You got your hands full.
That is definitely true with little Rubes. What were we talking about that I wanted? Pull up Danielle Blanc. You spell it Dinerblanc. You might have actually edited that video.
Sure did.
Yep. You remember this, but they have the wildest I would love for them to do something in Winston. Where was that one at?
Montreal.
Oh yeah, look at that. Paris 2018. It's just like, and they always
the fact that they're all wearing white though.
What, you don't like white?
No, I do, but that kind of looks like a cult.
Kind of thing.
When you're there, it almost feels like a super high class dinner cult. That's in Sydney, obviously, the Opera House there. Yes, they always just do it in the most wild outline. Is that Greensboro? No, I don't know where that is.
Greensboro. Click on, there we go.
Yeah, pulling it up here. There we go. So Greensboro, Danae Blanc. Yeah, this probably isn't the best place to actually look at the photos of it. But yeah, they always do sparklers. There's a couple of like keynote elements of it. But, like one in Winston, like in the Bailey power plant area there or something like that would be so lit.
That would be lit.
That was the first 2 lits we've ever had on this podcast. Inaugural lits.
That's so lit.
None of the other guests were as lit.
5.
It's all down here from here.
But
what's the next stuff you're kind of excited about? Have you seen a big change as far as things going on just in the past couple weeks with mask mandate coming off and world opening back up?
I mean, obviously St. Patrick's Day is this Thursday, and
where do I need to go?
Oh man, there's so many.
Wait, is it this Thursday?
Yes.
Oh, I'm maybe actually in the evening I could get away.
The rooftop at Roar is opening this Thursday.
I have not been to Roar yet.
You need to go to Roar. It's a good time.
But what are the floors again?
So the basement is not open yet.
Okay.
It has to be open by the end of March because they have an event at the end of March.
Okay.
So I know it'll be open by the end of March. They're actually flying in dancers from Ireland.
That's right.
Like
I saw about that.
Shamrock tenors or something, and not tap dancers. Yeah.
Irish
dancers.
It's Irish. No, I think it is just called like Irish dancing. They do tap dance, but it's like more like the line river dance type things.
Yes,
yeah,
river dance
so
stuff.
it's like Irish dancing.
Yes. Yeah. And so that will be open by the end of March because it has to be. But that will also be a great place to host an event. You'll be able to book it for like weddings or corporate end of the year corporate events or whatever. And then the main floor, the floor that you walk in on, that's where the food hall is. There is a bar, and then Est is an Italian restaurant that is opening up tomorrow.
SSS?
Est. It's
like
an Italian.
EST?
Apparently, it's an Italian term.
Est.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is opening up tomorrow, and so that's on the first floor. And then the second floor is where the boutique bowling is, the golf simulators, where you can play other things besides golf. They have like baseball simulators as well. And then they have a high-end restaurant, JL Casper's, which is a steakhouse.
Is what on the next floor?
on the
It's
same
on the
floor.
same floor.
And on each floor, they
Wow.
have a beer wall.
Okay, well, you scan the bracelet. Nice.
Yeah. And then above that will be the rooftop, which opens Thursday.
Let's go
Yeah.
for the St. Patrick's Day party.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll be there Thursday. And that's another thing. Whenever there's an opening, a new restaurant opening, a new brewery opening, a new anything, I try to be the first one there.
You're doing a good job of it.
Thank you. Because I want to be not like the breaking news, but there's nowhere else that's this place just opened, unless you read the newspaper, which people do read the newspaper, but people my age don't read the newspaper.
That's the problem with the world.
So that's why we don't know
Just
anything.
kidding.
No, but where do people go to get their information? Instagram, Facebook?
Well, it's so
TikTok.
easy.
Yeah.
It's easier and it's more fun, and this is the main thing, is it's competitive in a good way. Mm-hmm. I mean that's the upside and the downside, obviously, of like the democratization of social media is you can curate and you can live in your own bubble. And as the last couple of years have definitely proven, lots of people live in their own exclusive bubble where you never hear any sort of contradictory news or anything like that. And I think that's in the end, that's the, our generation's problem with establishment news resources is everybody there is getting paid by the person at the top. Mm-hmm. And the people that are advertising with that news source they all are advertising there because they know what kind of audience is on that platform. Mm-hmm. And so they're curating to that, but, with what you're doing is you have this choice of getting the information from you or, if we don't want to, like we fall and we go somewhere else. Whereas a newspaper, is always going to be coming from the exact same people every single time. And it's going to have, whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I think in that way you are a lot more informative than that.
I try not to have an agenda. We don't post anything political or polarizing.
No, you are like go to Winston-Salem. This is like it always has felt city first and people first, which is what I appreciate about it.
Yeah. I mean, my goal is I don't want to be in Charlotte or Raleigh's like shadow. I want people to come to Winston for a vacation, for a getaway. People now it's like, oh, I'm going to Charlotte for the weekend. I'm going to Raleigh for the weekend. I'm going to Asheville for the weekend. It's like, come to Winston for the weekend.
Right.
Like I want to put Winston on the map. Not me personally,
You're
but
doing
collectively. I want to be a part of that.
If you don't do it, no one will.
But no, there are many other great resources that have popped up since the pandemic that, we're all working towards the same thing of.
Do you know some of the people that are doing some more things?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know all of them. We're all just want to see Winston grow, and we love this city. So,
If you had to talk to somebody, if somebody said they were coming into Winston for like, let's just say a long weekend, Friday after work, Saturday, Sunday, maybe staying through Sunday, they're going to get brunch somewhere or something like that. What would you give them as a couple options?
So one thing that I do not
Do you get this question all the time?
Well, we do. So we created a 48 hours in Winston blog post.
Let's go.
That is on our website. And
What's the website?
The GoToWinstonSalem.com.
The go-to with the go-to WinstonSalem.com. Okay. No hyphen, just Winston-Salem. Okay.
Yeah. And no hyphen for the go-to either. So we don't say what our favorite is ever. If you ask Christy, I'll tell you. But if you ask the go-to Winston-Salem, I won't tell you because there are so many great places and, my palate is different than someone else's and I can't eat pasta. So the best place might be a pasta place and I don't know,
Right, right.
I will never be able to eat at Mission Pizza. I know it's incredible, but I won't be able to eat there. So I think my favorite.
Have you not had their gluten-free pasta? Mm-mm. Oh, wait. What else what are your other food allergies?
I'm allergic to a lot.
Okay. Gotcha. The gluten-free pasta at Mission Pizza is like my wife's all-time favorite.
That's
pasta
good to
anywhere.
know.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had gluten-free pasta.
Yeah.
Because I know Peyton is really into like authentic dishes. So I wouldn't think that they would have
Yeah, whoever their
dietary
pasta chef is nails
supplements.
it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, then I will go now. But so I don't say what my favorite is, but we did ask our Instagram followers like what they would do if they had 48 hours in Winston. So I kind of took their answers and made it into a blog post and said, you know, for the artsy person, here are some ideas. I didn't say go to this art museum or this gallery. I said, here are some galleries to go to. For, you know, the outdoor person, here are outdoor places to go. You know, Reynolda Village, Salem Lake, the Quarry, walk around Old Salem. You know, I have my picks personally based on where I live and what my husband and I like to do, but I don't have the go-to instance doesn't have a favorite place.
But you do have resources for that. Because, I mean, that's the main thing is making this city as accessible as possible. Because even I grew up here and I'm still like absolutely shocked. Like, I'm even like, what has happened downtown, the number of people that are just like so in love with this area, and really honestly the entire triad just absolutely blowing up. So that's awesome that you're extending those kind of resources to people, because I would love to see more people coming and visiting this area. And I think it's only going to continue going as places like, you know, South Winston, these things you're talking about going in there, like the Innovation Corridor, all this stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like pockets, like neighborhood kind of things that are coming. You know, it was like Innovation Corridor and Industry Hill's coming along. There's an apartment complex being built. My church is actually moving into Industry Hill, 2 cities.
Oh, wow.
We are breaking ground.
Yeah,
I think
y'all
this
have
June.
to be haven't outgrown that spot you're in for a long time.
We have been too big for it for about a year and a half, and we have a year and a half to go to make things. I'm an usher, and it's really stressful ushering the 11 o'clock service, because I'm like, there's no place for you to sit. People come to me, they're like, I need 3, and I'm like, I don't know where to put you.
I can give you half.
Yeah, so you can sit on her lap. But yeah, so
they're building a new space.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
it's going to
cool.
be, I think we bought 11 acres.
What?
Like behind Wiseman.
Wow.
And like
very cool. Industry Hill area?
Yeah. And there's apartments coming up there. Under the apartments, I believe there's going to be retail.
Very cool.
I mean, just behind us, like a new Link apartments, and then there's new apartments going near the baseball stadium. So whoever there's apartments, that's where businesses are going to go to, because that's the young blood. So Industry Hill, Innovation Corridor with the phase 2, and then South Winston now with the new brewery and the porch. It's called East of Texas is the new restaurant.
Oh, cool.
And then there's going to be a new gym and some other places that I know that are popping up there. So, you know, places are coming.
Is Alma Mexicana sticking around?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were,
and then,
they were closed for so long. That was like our favorite spot.
They were. It's a great spot. And like it's going to get even better now. Like they might be worried because there are new restaurants coming in, but also you would go downtown because there are multiple options for a restaurant. So like you then get the street appeal. Like before it was, I'm going to Bailey Park to eat. Oh, you're eating at Alma's or Cagino. And now there's more options of where to eat.
Right.
So it'll take the competition leads to success, in my opinion. Because then there's more, you know, people go down there because there's more things to do. And then, you know, in Town with the Beltway will eventually come, I believe.
So I hear.
But there's lots of great places. Like in Louisville, there's a great little coffee shop, Louisville Coffee Mill.
Love it.
Love that spot. Bake Just So. I'm there 3 times a week. There's so many hidden
Wait, you say Baked Just So?
Bake Just So.
What is that, a bakery?
It's a bakery and coffee shop in like where Meadowlark and Olivet Church meet.
Oh,
there's a Harris
where
Teeter.
that Harris Teeter is?
There's
Really?
Stoked and a La
Stoked is so
Carreta
good.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, so Bake Just So is
I need to check that out.
Christy speaking my favorite spot.
No kidding.
I mean, I'm there all the time. It's like my office.
Okay. Is that near where you live?
It's 3 minutes.
Wait. Is it at the very end of the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that. I used to go to Sage Strength, which is that gym right there. One of my buddies, Seth, owns it. It's at the past Harris Teeter.
Oh, I don't go down that way. I always stay at Bake Just So.
Okay, well, there's a very good gym there. They're actually moving into the same complex my church just bought as well. And so
I
there's
saw
gonna be a
that
gym on
sign
that
today.
side.
Literally on the way here, it said Sage Strength, and I almost got in an accident because I was trying to look at the open sign.
Really? I was just there on Saturday, so the sign must have just come in.
Yeah.
That is going to be a great space.
It said coming soon.
Yeah.
It said Sage, and I couldn't read the rest of it, but you just finished it.
Sage Strength, yeah. It might, I don't know, he might just change it to just Sage, but.
No, there was a word after it.
Okay.
The wind was blowing it, though.
Oh, it's like a banner?
Yeah.
Kind of thing?
Like
Oh,
in
okay, gotcha.
in the grass.
I see. Yeah.
It wasn't in front of the specific building, so I don't know which building it will be in. But hopefully, with the church coming in and is that say so is public knowledge, is it?
Oh yeah, he was.
Okay.
Kylan was on. Actually, we dropped that episode today.
Okay, cool.
So he goes
it's
through the
public
whole
knowledge
thing.
now. And say so. And then now that the gym's coming in, I hope there's so many empty spots. That whole shopping center is empty.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
yeah, they're filling them up quick, but yeah, I think there's still a couple of spaces in there. I want to see that entire side of Winston-Salem just really, turned into such a much more amazing area with
people
some
live
options
there.
and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and way more than is needed down there than just like a Taco Bell and a pawn shop. Even though I love those both equally.
My husband goes to
usually
Taco
together
Bell so many times. But no, I mean like that CVS is my CVS, like next to you.
I didn't realize you live on that part of town.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. You have like past Bethabara?
No,
area?
I live off Yadkinville.
Ah, okay.
So I turn left at your church.
Gotcha. Go down to Chiang Tai.
Yes.
Come on.
Great.
That was our whenever it would snow, because I lived in town and country area there.
Okay.
We would either like walk or like take like a 4-wheel drive vehicle like in the snow, because they're the only place that was open. Go down there and just get like blazing hot Thai and just like eat in the snow.
Thai.
Such good Thai.
But now our power goes out all the time. Our power was out Saturday during the windstorm. Remember, it was like really windy.
Oh yeah,
Saturday?
it was crazy windy.
Yeah, our power was out the whole day.
Huh.
And so was Chiang Tai.
You just need to move off of Polo Road with us. Come be neighbors over there.
Yeah, I did live there, and
Really?
then I moved.
So are you trying to bring the rest of your family up here?
So my parents, November of 2020, moved to Lake Norman from DC.
Okay.
And then my middle sister lives
Getting them close.
Yeah, my middle sister lives in Charlotte, and my oldest sister lives in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
So I don't go to DC anymore.
You don't have to answer this. Are you like, is the thought with go to Winston-Salem that there would eventually be like go to Charlotte, go to Greensboro, and kind of like branch out to those areas?
Yeah, that's that was one of our reasons for rebranding.
I thought so. When I saw that, I was like,
so
go Christy.
When we created the name Explore Winston-Salem, because I literally was exploring Winston, there was like no thought into the name at all. And I, thought of the future of the company and, do I just want to, I am content and happy and more than satisfied with what the GoTo Winston-Salem has done. But, if I want to replicate it in different cities, it wouldn't be Charlotte, it wouldn't be Raleigh, it wouldn't be Asheville. It would be cities that aren't on the map necessarily.
Cool. So
Charlotte is so oversaturated with people like me. Raleigh, Durham, so oversaturated. There are so many different city guides. That's where people but in Winston, there's 3 of us. So I have a few ideas for different cities and towns. But the timing on that, I'm not sure, because as I mentioned a little earlier, we want to start a family, and that would be really hard to start if I don't live in the town.
Yeah.
But we're here for we are raising our family here. We're not moving.
Good. Don't go anywhere. I want to know what was going on with her too. Replicating yourself and keeping that same, because it's there's people I'm sure that could do it over there, but obviously I've always wondered that about even with Say So, other places are Camino when it moved over to a new area. replicating a recipe is one thing. Replicating a brand, which is
it's
like
like
really
the
what you and I
person,
do.
really.
Yeah. It really is just like, it just comes down to that. It seems insurmountable ways to do it. Yeah, because you want it to feel the same way. You want all of the things that were important to you to come across in that. And
or
yeah.
decisions you made that like you made, like just because of your gut,
right.
or your knowledge that you have that you can't share because
Yeah.
you don't know how to. You're like, this was the right thing to do, and they're like, why? And I'm like, I don't know, it just was. You know?
Well, it definitely sounds like you're still following your gut. If you're like, I don't want to go after like these big Greensboro, whatever. Like, I want to put the next place, like help people that live there that's a little less explored, fall in love with their city again. I think that's really cool.
Well, I'm not saying Greensboro's off the map.
Hey yo, let's go.
But because it's not a Raleigh, it's not a Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's still.
What is our neighbor?
Yeah.
Right down the road. And you might finally be the person who can bridge the 100-year war
I know.
between Winston-Salem and
I feel like there is
Greensboro.
a hidden war between the two.
Well, they started it, but we're going to finish it.
Oh, okay. I feel like do you watch Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
I feel like we're
Oh, right.
Pawnee and oh my goodness, Eagleton.
Eagleton. Right.
And then the merger. We should merge into one city.
Right. Well, I mean, what was it? I read an article at one point saying that eventually Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Charlotte will merge and they'll be the largest metropolis in the U.S. If David was here, I'd have him pull that up, but he's literally recording a voiceover for us for another client.
Like in many, many years, meaning like there won't be like, what about Statesville? Will that just get swallowed
Statesville
up?
will be gone. Yeah, Statesville will be totally swallowed. Greensboro is going to get Statesville eventually anyways.
We would get Statesville. We're closer to Statesville.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Like we just hop over Winston.
I think it's one of those projected, like the number of people moving into the area that are eventually
it would expand so much.
Yep, it's going to come under the municipalities, like literally just like for water and electricity or something like that. They'll start like annexing everybody in. And maybe there still would eventually be like clear. Like how there's New York originally was, all these like they're right on top of each other, but now like the line in between like Jersey and Manhattan and all those areas is just getting like so blurred just because there's people living literally every single place. There's no like firm dividing line.
Gotcha. I
think what they're saying eventually is there'll just be one huge urban area.
I understand now.
I have no idea what that'll actually look like, but
we might not be there when that happens.
What, like around? Like you and me? Oh, well, yeah, true. As long as I get like Elon's little brain chip implanted. Have you not heard about that?
No.
The Neuralink?
That sounds scary.
So what he's aiming to do is, I actually want to say that there was something I heard recently about some sort of beta testing it would basically be like a cell phone in your brain. Connected to 4G. Well, I guess actually like the connection.
Not 5G? Just 4G?
Good point.
Come on, Elon.
5G connectivity. I think like the little antenna, you'd have like a little, you wouldn't have an antenna. Like there'd be like a little patch.
Aliens.
I feel like somewhere. And his point was that we're all basically already cyborgs because we're already augmenting knowledge and everything like that with
I wish
technology.
everyone could see how big my eyes are right now.
They're huge. They're really big. Because he's saying we're already using our cell phone to find everything. We just have to use it with our thumbs. And this would basically move it to just being able to like write. And isn't that crazy?
I don't like that.
You look terrified.
Yeah. Because then why would we need to talk to people? You would just think to people.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be so nice?
No, it'd be so sad.
You wouldn't have to send your email. You would just think out your newsletter to all of your newsletter subscribers.
Okay, but
you could tell them in real time, like where you are. And wouldn't that be great?
That sounds dangerous. People knowing where I am at all times.
Yeah.
My dad already made my husband be the only one to check my P.O. box. I can never check it because it's written on the bottom of my newsletter. And my dad is
that's
like,
probably smart.
People could follow you. I'm like, no one's going to follow me. But my husband's the only one who
Good for him.
Goes and collects the money at the P.O. box.
Good for him. So, yeah. So then I'll just have to send in a letter like, "Hi, Chris. I heard you were the one checking this." But yeah, I mean, they're basically like, just moving it away from like having to be like at your phone, something you would pull out in some sort of integration. And
but then where's the separation between what I'm thinking and what gets sent out? Like, how do you control that?
You have to have Norton antivirus in your brain. You have to set up the firewall and everything. I have no idea.
What if we could do that?
I don't think it's literally sending everything you're thinking, though. Well, I guess it would have to be picking up what you're thinking because that's literally how you're interacting with it. I don't know.
And then Elon Musk will know everything that we're thinking of all the time, and then he will control the world.
It's going to happen one way or the other, him or Google.
Yeah.
But have you done any research kind of like into Metaverse, Web 4.0?
No, I really don't understand it. I thought, this is the extent of what I know. I thought Facebook was then going to be called Meta, but it still says Facebook. So that's the extent of what I know.
Okay, fair enough. I think, no, they rebranded.
Yeah, but it's still Facebook.com.
Right, no, but it's like Google used to be Google, and now Google is part of Alphabet.
The Alphabet?
Mm-hmm. Like if you look up now, the parent company for Google is Alphabet Inc.
Yes, just okay.
And underneath them is like Google and like their smart car initiative and like their World Wide Web and all the other weird, crazy, invasive.
So I understand that Meta is now the dad of Facebook.
It's the parent company.
Yeah, that's the extent.
And Facebook is under it. Okay, yeah. I don't know.
I do know. Okay, this is what I do know.
Okay.
Aren't people, because like you can go to the Metaverse, right? And it's like a real place. Well, it's not a real place.
Yeah.
But you put on like the goggles or something.
You can. Yep.
I heard that people are selling houses.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's real estate
digital
agents
real estate.
for the Metaverse.
Yeah.
And it's like real money.
Real money, yes. And this is why, because it's like if think of the Metaverse almost like if there was a limited number of websites
Okay.
that there were on the internet. And they're like, okay, there's only 1 million websites that we are ever going to make on this platform. If you want a website, you can buy it. And then people are reselling it like real estate. So the Metaverse is, I forget exactly how they measure it, but it's basically like this island, Metaland, this island. And there's only so many like square acres that you can build a for your avatar or whatever, like to walk around. So they're literally selling.
It's like real
estate.
Sims.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's Sims where everybody's got their own little thing, but everybody's in the same world.
But how?
And once it's like fully built, then you're gonna have to buy a piece from somebody else.
But do you really like dislike your life so much that you have to go to this virtual reality?
I do.
No, you don't.
No, just kidding. No.
Like,
yeah.
Would you have like a completely different like family?
Well,
I don't understand.
See, Christy, this is how you and I know we're getting old. Because we would say like, why would you stay home? Remember like AOL, Instant Messenger? Yeah.
Sports Dude 3142.
It's Swordmaster G. Here we go. Parents would be like, why are you staying home and chatting when you could like be on the phone, calling, or if you like you could all meet up and do something, but you can like stay home and chat with like 4 people at the same time. That's probably all I ever chatted with. Not a whole lot of folks, but it's this. Who knows why? It's because it's like the new way to interact, I guess.
But those were real people we were chatting with.
Well, this would be real people as well. It would just be like, it's not like everything is computers. It would be like you're in Sims and everybody's a real person. And they all have their real money that they can go and spend at your whatever. Virtual concerts. Like you can go in and you can like play games right in an arcade. It's essentially social media, but merging that with like your little digital avatar in that world.
But you have to wear the glasses. How do you get into the world?
I actually don't know that. I actually don't know that part. I know more about how to buy the property,
but
I know how to actually interact with it. Yeah, I mean, Facebook bought the Oculus Rift, so that's what that VR headset and handset part is, I'm not sure you actually
So like
have
in
to
10
have that to
years, my
interact with
husband
it.
and I will be like doing a hangout with our friends from Oregon that we met.
And you'll all
in the
throw on your
Metaverse.
headset and you'll jump in there and everybody will be able to see. Yeah, and you'll hang out like a little interactive Zoom call thing. I will say, if anything probably spurred on Web 4.0, it was the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody like communicating with family members and friends like that over Zoom and, webcams and everything like that. And we realized like,
You wanted to hug them, but you can't.
Yeah,
so
but
now
see,
you can.
that was the thing is like, at the same time that I think it probably spurred it forward, like, okay, the world is ready to like go like fully like all interactions digital. It made me realize that I do not want that.
Yeah.
I do not want that. So there's probably going to be people on both sides of that. Like China just went down into like a crazy lockdown again. Like I think 12 million people today or 2 days ago went into like 12 million people locked down in this province from.
Because of COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, I think since it started over there, I mean, there's no way with how dense the population is with what we were experiencing here that it wasn't just like so much crazier over there. And they still weren't releasing data as far as real like verified data as far as infection rates and stuff like that. So I think it's still probably going over there like crazy. But so maybe it'd be something even that areas like that accept and move towards more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see Norway like moving towards like Web 4.0.
I don't know
or
enough
other
about
places.
Norway to answer that.
Yeah, I kind of just pulled that out of my hat. I just saying I don't see that happening. So, but all that to say that go to Winston-Salem could buy a really nice new. I've got a plot of land for sale.
Do you
in
actually?
the Metaverse? I do not.
Okay.
Or I would sell it to you, but no, I don't know. It's like one of those new technologies that I think people are just gobbling up right now. It was like when there was a guy, I remember reading a story about, actually I think back on Reader's Digest, that when the internet first like really started becoming a thing, he bought like OprahWinfrey.com, ArnoldSchwarzenegger.com, ClintEastwood.com, like
Smart dude.
just like all of these .coms, and basically was like, I will start posting like awful stuff to it unless you buy it from me. And I think like BillGates.com and just like all these different things. And I remember you know who Barbara Streisand is? No? She's like a Tony Award winning singer. She was Hello Dolly. She was in all these other anyways.
Okay.
He was selling everybody's basically like, URL back to them. If like 1 million here,
Yeah.
2 million there, 700,000. And when Barbara Streisand came in, I was like, how much for my URL? I think he said $80,000. And she was so offended. They're like, that was like
it
the
was
front. Yeah, it
lower?
was so low. He was like, oh, I'll let it go for 80 grand. But I think it's kind of like that. Like people are just buying this up because they don't exactly know what the
It's gonna
technology is.
happen. Yeah.
And they just trying to diversify and put it in there. But
It's going to be another like investment portfolio thing.
yeah.
Like, oh, I have virtual real estate. And
Exactly.
I have actual real estate.
And I have crypto and I have investment in real property and real companies that are actually doing things. And I don't know. I don't quite have the understanding for it, but for the people the early adopters, they're going after it like crazy. So that's basically all I know as far as that property. So I know Winston-Salem is about to build their own like new digital world, I think, for all of us to live in. You didn't know that?
You're joking.
Okay.
By the end of this, I'm now picking up on when you're being
Only
sarcastic.
half of what I say is actually true. I know. I'm so bad at that, but yeah, that's
If we were, I would already know about
that's
it.
what I was gonna say. You also like anything that I say about Winston, I'm sure you can pick up pretty easily on that. But well,
Yeah,
what's next?
you can't be sarcastic about Winston because I know it's true or not. Yeah. Well, what's next? Immediately tomorrow, our newsletter goes out, full of St. Patrick's Day events, and now that the weather's getting warmer.
The best place to have an Easter egg hunt.
See, the thing about that is someone actually messaged me about that last week. They were like, what restaurants are having Easter specials? And I was like,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
we're a little far away.
Ah,
And I can only release information when the restaurant releases
Right.
the information.
right.
So like, yeah, I have the insider knowledge, I don't have the insider knowledge.
But there's no knowledge to have yet, or you would have it.
Yeah. It's not necessarily that I have the insider knowledge. It's just I'm always the first to grab the knowledge when it's there. Like I don't like have like secret secret.
You don't have to tell me, but we all know it's true. Yeah.
I'm just
you're just hustling all the time because you want to know this stuff.
Yeah,
and be
I'm
first.
literally always hustling.
Yeah.
But so I don't know about Easter. I know about St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I know where I'm going now.
I know where to watch March Madness. We just posted a blog post on the 9 best spots to watch March Madness games.
Where we got?
One great one is Mossy's in Clemens.
Mossy's is so great.
Yeah.
Their
really
wings are legend.
Great.
There's so
TVs everywhere. Chin Chin Burger Bar has 12 TVs, and Waldo's Wings has 12 TVs as well.
I love Waldo's.
Small Batch is always the best spot to watch MLS soccer, but when there's not a soccer match, they will be showing March Madness games.
Okay.
Fiddle and Fish just added a second huge projector, so now they have 2 projectors and 8 TVs. Roar is a great spot to watch because there's like multiple TVs on each floor. Foothills Brewing is a great spot to watch back by the bar area, and sometimes when they don't have an event at Footnote, they have games on the projector.
Okay.
But you can't really predict when there will be games. Just sometimes when I go, I remember in the fall, sometimes I went and like an NFL game was on.
Do you know all these owners like by first name basis? Okay.
No. I do Foothills because they're a sponsor.
Okay.
But I don't even know the owner's name. I know the marketing person's name.
Right.
His name is Ray. He's great. And then where else is
and are you like once you're working with one brewery, you only work with one brewery? Like they have exclusivity? There
is one package that offers exclusivity, and that really only applies to realtors. Because no brewery, I would never agree to only promote one brewery.
Right, back to what you were saying.
Yeah. But with real estate, there is the desire for that exclusivity. So the realtors are only exclusive option. And then with
how many video production companies would you work with?
I have 0.
Really?
Yeah. But I would work with multiple. But also I don't want to a part of it is, I don't want to be a sellout. I don't just want to work with multiple. I want to have one that I love and stand behind and really know them and not just kind of know a few of them.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. But with the real estate group, we constantly have people messaging us who don't live here yet. And they're like, where should I buy a house? And before I had the relationship with the Ginther group, I was like, there's lots of great realtors in town. I didn't say a specific one, but now I directly give them the phone number to the Ginther group.
How far away, how have you, I'm sure you've looked at the distribution of your followers. Like how far out are people following you from?
It's hard to tell because it's 2%. So it's hard to know what actually is that. I mean, we have people in Charlotte, but I don't know if that 2% is my family.
Well, they're not in Charlotte anymore.
They are in Charlotte. Right. Yeah, but I mean, it's 50% Winston and then lots of Greensboro, High Point. People who live in Louisville, sometimes it shows up as Winston, sometimes it shows up as Louisville. It just depends on the way they have their phone map set. But it's, I'd say mostly Winston, and then a few people who message us and are like, we're moving in a few months. What apartment should we live in? We're moving in a few months. What area of town should we buy a house in?
Wow.
And then now with people matching, match day for residency is soon.
Oh, and for Wake Forest Baptist.
Yeah. So they will.
How do you keep all this stuff in your brain?
I don't know.
Crazy. Like a walking Winston-Salem dictionary.
I'm just always consuming information, which is kind of scary sometimes because it's I have to be really careful of what I am consuming. But the good thing is it's not I'm not consuming my personal Instagram where it's people's filtered excellent life. It's people's filtered delicious food.
Much
that's not bad to consume all the time.
Have you always been such like a, did you go to college?
Yes.
So what did you major in?
Psychology.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So this has always been kind of an interest in.
I've always known people really well.
What was your first impression of me? You don't have to tell me that on here, but so this tall, lanky,
you were
big smile. Oh, really?
Yeah. Because you also because like you were sitting in your corner with your headset on.
You know, one of the reasons why I started doing this is I have such, when I'm like in work mode, it is almost impossible for me to break out of that. I'm actually a very friendly person, but I feel like nobody in this co-working space like actually knows that, because I'm just like, when I'm working, I'm so locked in. I feel like there's these blinders on. Also probably some of my ADHD, because it's like, if I don't stay locked in, I will never get back. I'm on or off. Exactly. Yep. Thank you. You know, so yeah, kindred spirit, probably in that way, how you recognize that. But so have you always been so like, I don't want to say you're like obsessive about Winston-Salem, but it seems like there's a little bit of like obsessive, like once you're into something, you're into something. Yeah. This is really the first thing you've really been into in this. Well, it's the first thing you've really started that's your own that you maybe could get into this way. Yeah, I'm super passionate about, when I get passionate about something, I'm really passionate about it. Like, I'm really passionate about Chapel Hill basketball. Ayo. Like, I'm really passionate just about University of North Carolina in general. That's where you went? Yeah. Like, I could talk for days about it. I'm really passionate about, like, my family. Like, I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. Okay. Really? Yeah. So, that's like, so funny. I'm a 3. I say, like, I could have guessed that. Yeah, I bet you could have. I say things like, as, like, there's no fluff. So, like, if I like you, I'm going to love you, kind of a thing. There's no, like, halfway. So, again, like, I'm on or off. So, I'm either, like, I'm not really super indifferent about things. I'm either all for it or not against it, but just not. Yeah. Yeah. So that probably, I mean, I'm sure that helps with what you're doing. It does. Yeah. Because you couldn't, I mean, you can't really start a business. You're staying authentic to yourself also. Because it's like, I can't, you know, if it's not actually me, if I'm not actually about it, I'm not going to do anything with it. Yeah. And I think like I'm a real go-getter. I am super efficient. And I don't like fluff and like small talk. I really don't enjoy small talk. So I'm like, so this is killing you. This is good. Okay. But when people are like, how are you? And they're like, I'm great. I'm like, I talked to you yesterday. You're not great. Like, like if someone asks me how I am and I'm not good, like I'll let them know that I'm not good. But that's the Southern culture part of it. I don't think so. I think it is. Like what I realized when I was in the Netherlands at one point, there, you know what like hot culture, cold culture is? Like the North versus the South? Well, kind of. It's like the world can be split up into cold culture is we care more about facts and less about feelings. And we're going to tell you how it is, even if it hurts you. So that's where you get like the straight shooting, kind of like New York type, like abrasive attitude, right? Yeah. The South is, and it's also cold is individualistic. Okay. And hot is community. So, so like in the South, so an example would be like in this book that I read called Hot Culture, Cold Culture, there was this lady that moved from somewhere in South America. She moved to New York, and she was just having a really hard time like understanding the culture. And it was basically like her friends in New York would say like, "Do you want to go out Friday?" And she'd be like, "Oh no, like that's okay." They're like, "Okay," and they would just leave. And I realize I do this, like if you go to a restaurant and somebody like offers to pay for you in the South, and I would just pick this up intrinsically, I didn't realize this, I have to protest like 3 to 4 times before I let it go. Because that's the polite way. No, you don't have to pay for that. No, I really want to. No, you don't have to. I really want to pay for it. Okay. You have to let it go. And so there's some of it can seem like being like false. You know, like, oh, I'm doing fine when you know they're actually not. But it's like it's this, if you care, you're going to ask 3 times to get past that. And then I actually like, okay, I actually understand that there's the permission to move past that because there's so much like, oh, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing like, hey, how's it going? Like in this, like the backside of it. Cause like in more cold cultures, you're not walking down the street saying like, hey, how are you doing? They just don't care. Because like if they actually ask, then they're like actually asking.
Exactly. So I think like my personality is the authenticity of the cold culture.
Yeah.
And then the community of the warm culture or hot or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And so like if you are in my community, you know the real me. And if you don't want to know the real me, then leave, kind of a thing. Or if you don't want me to know the real you, then I'm just like, be real with me or leave, kind of a thing. So I don't know how we got into that in terms of the GoTo Winston-Salem. Oh, I was talking about how I'm efficient and I say what I mean, no fluff.
Right.
And so if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I don't really ask for permission.
No. Enneagram 8.
Yeah. And we can be kind of mean too sometimes.
Combative, I think, is the word.
Aggressive.
Argumentative, aggressive. I think you're an 8 too, right?
I'm a wing 8.
Wing 8.
Oh, what are you?
He's a 9, probably a wing 8.
I am a 9 wing 8.
Okay, I'm an 8 wing 7.
There you go.
Nice.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, neither do I. I just know the numbers.
8 wing 7, that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of the good ones.
Thank you.
It's one of the ones we like. That's actually in our intro questionnaire is what Enneagram aren't we? Because we're not going to take certain numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever they are. Yeah. I don't know. We're not taking 11 and 12.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Or 10s. Those 10s.
Those 10s are the worst from outer space that just visit us. And that.
Just so people know there is no 10 or 11 or 12. I didn't want people to think we're actually being mean.
Christy just didn't want to leave with like any false Enneagram information on the record.
No lies. Say it how it is.
That's right. Only facts right here.
Yeah.
Is your coffee done?
I haven't drank it.
Yeah, you just like didn't even get back. I know.
I keep hitting the thing.
We need to raise up these arms.
We're not ending the episode until the coffee's
down
gone.
that coffee.
Oh my goodness.
No, but it was awesome. I know you said you get a stupid amount of DMs, and so I'm so glad you fought through all of the fluff.
Oh, of your DM?
To see ours, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw that you guys were starting it, so I followed you a few weeks ago. And then when I saw
you were the one. That was so nice of you.
I was the one follower. No, but I was like, oh, this will be interesting. Because, again, where I gather my information is from various places. So,
yeah, there you go.
You might interview someone. Like, if I listened to the Say So Coffee one, I would know that that's public knowledge. Mm-hmm. But I found out about it through a friend that's friends with his dad.
Through Travis. Travis is Kylan's dad, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Travis is friends with someone I know.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out about it. But like I listen to podcasts because there's gonna be, whether I know all 2 hours of it, there's gonna be something I don't know that I can go and research.
Yeah, we'll try to send you just the good 30 seconds worth of it. When we think it's actually pertinent.
People are gonna listen to this one and be like, Metaverse. What else did we talk about that was weird?
I think it was Metaverse. Was probably
the CIA, 9/11,
oh, sure.
security.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like that's what I was saying. Is like this is the only thing that I'm doing that I'm not like reviewing 80,000 times to make sure like every single frame of it is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like a blast, you know, to get down and like actually meet some new people. And we're pretty excited about the next couple episodes we're going to be doing because kind of cut my teeth, you know, at the beginning of this with like just kind of like some people that I know well or know pretty well, and moving towards just like highlighting new and interesting people that don't know at all. So I'm really excited to see kind of
are those secrets?
Next people coming up? No, actually David I think may know who are the locked in folks.
Taylor from The Board Babe
is coming up.
And Kylie from Tea and Toast.
She's great.
Yeah, and then just like a couple of people that are like construction companies and like people that are actually like building and doing stuff here. So we've got a really long list of people that we want to. And now we get to say we had Christy on, and they'll be like, oh, of course I will after that. So this was completely selfish. Very selfish having you on here, but I'm glad you
I did that
took
to
some time
people
out.
when I started off, so it's fine.
Perfect.
I was like, you have no reason to say yes, but will you do blah, blah, blah. But Taylor's great. She's started something really cool. I feel like we are both in it and that we don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one for sure. And this was awesome too. Do you have anything? I know people should go subscribe to your newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
And they should follow you.
Subscribe to our newsletter.
And they should follow you on TikTok.
They
Let's
should
get those
follow
TikToks
us
up.
on TikTok. Yeah, and Pinterest if you're on Pinterest. So yeah, for Instagram, it's crazy. Last year, this time we had 3,000, 2,000.
You're up to 18,000 followers.
no,
Last time I
yeah,
looked, you had 8,000. What?
18.8 thousand followers.
18,854 to be exact, Christy.
Our
Good gracious.
wait, how do you see that?
He hovered over it.
Wait, that happens? I didn't know that.
Well, you know you can be on Instagram on your
Yes,
computer.
but I
now.
never
Yeah.
am.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a goal of getting to 20,000 by the end of the month.
Nice.
Let's go. Well, I think we've got 60 we can contribute.
We
at this
average
point.
about 1,000 new followers a month.
Wow.
But this month, if we get to 20, it would be 2,000 in 1 month. So yeah, follow us
Let's
on Instagram
go.
to help us reach our goal. They're just goals that I put in my head because no one else sets them for me, so I have to set them for myself.
There you go. True entrepreneur spirit right there.
Yeah, and then newsletter, we have about 6,000 newsletter subscribers. And then our website. And Facebook, we have like 5,000 followers on Facebook for all those moms that are on Facebook.
Right. Mom, get on there.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, love what you're doing. Love what you're highlighting. Thanks so much for helping me so much personally. Know places to go and have fun and explore. And
One that a blog post you might be interested in is 12 must-see parks in Winston-Salem that you can take your little guy to swing
I will do that.
on baby swings.
Baby swings. Is that a part of the list? Is baby swings?
No, but I'm sure that they have them. You're so fast. How did you do that?
Your website has a search bar, but thank you.
Oh, it does? Awesome.
Perfect. Yeah, we will be doing that. We've started playing Ultimate Frisbee a lot at Little Creek Park.
We are...
You play Frisbee?
No.
Oh.
We are coming out with content in the next month or so on where to play disc golf, where to play pickleball, and where to play
Pickleball.
tennis.
There you go.
So look for those.
You need to do one on where there are like water feature parks. Because that's what I like about Little Creek is they actually have a thing like during the summer where like
Yes.
water is spraying.
There is water spraying, like a splash pad.
I'm not sure. It just looks like there's somewhere to turn on water. And now that I have a kid, I'm like, oh, I want to be able to take her somewhere to be able to see. There you go.
There you go.
Whatever that is.
Is that? Scroll
That-
up. Where is that?
That is Little Creek.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
This is on your website. Entry cost free. You are. What is not on here?
Things in my head
Yeah.
that you can ask me. They're
There's
just
the-
not on there. Like where to
internal
get
trivia.
the best mimosas.
Ooh.
That's in my brain.
This
but
is so impressive. There's way more on here than I thought.
yeah, there's so much.
She's doing it. Man.
Like, go to the events section and then click on like Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, broken down by
So,
day. This is what I
Events
need.
that happen every single Monday, and then
Talk to
drink
me.
specials that happen every single Monday. We have that for every day of the
Let's go. Half price bottles of wine at Ryan's. Ryan's is so good.
week. Half price bottle of wine, but you gotta pay for the food.
That's how they get you. This is great.
Yeah. So people are always like, "Where's trivia in Winston?" Well, I actually now have a trivia guide.
How long did it take to? I mean, this has to be pretty exhaustive to go through and put all of this together. Because I guess you can just visit all the websites and try to put all the information in one place. I guess that's just kind of what you had to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really
I
know
guess
what that
that's the
question
answer,
was,
huh?
but
I don't know. I was just looking at this and be like, that looks exhausting to try to find all this information and curate it into one place. But
neighborhood guides that I think are awesome. So like what to do in Clemens, Weston, Ardmore, Louisville. We have a Kernersville coming soon. What to do in Kernersville.
Did you build this website yourself?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I hired someone.
Whew.
But like annual events that happen, where to eat, where to shop in Ardmore, what to do. So yeah, there's people.
This is like the go-to resource in Winston.
I like that. Maybe I should
Wait,
name
what?
my company that.
Seth, that's genius.
What a marketing genius.
Yeah, so before I had, the website, it was just me retyping everything like from my brain, because all of this is in my brain. Like I know all of this stuff. But now whenever someone says like, what restaurant should I go for Valentine's Day? I just send them my fancy date night blog. Or like, I have a friend who's coming into town and they're gluten-free. Where should I eat? I just send them my gluten-free blog post instead of writing it down each time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's impressive. And for a year, really.
Yeah.
Makes me, seeing people this talented makes me so angry internally. But also,
Why?
This is a bad podcast for you to be hosting then.
That's right. All we're going to be doing is talking to talented people. No, it's just you found something that was so needed and you're doing it so well and you're offering so many things. Just makes me feel like I've done nothing.
Oh my gosh,
That's what I mean.
stop.
No, it's true. Like that is very impressive to have all that stuff put together in one place. So,
Well, I've had a lot of help, so
yeah.
yeah. What
Christy,
else was on there?
It was awesome having you.
It was great to be here. This was fun.
It's fun. We cover all the topics here.
We do.
At least Metaverse.
But we don't drink our coffee here.
That's right.
I should have got a sunshine. Did you hear they're coming out with a new flavor?
I did. I just saw that. Pineapple
something.
Pineapple tropic something else. I'm going to try
Tropic
it.
Thunder.
That's what I think, that's the subtitle. Yeah, I was glad. I was all about the blueberry lemonade for many, many, many years.
Which
and
is that your favorite, or is the clementine twist your favorite?
Man, people always told me the clementine was the best, and I didn't believe them, but now I'm a believer.
I like the clementine, and I also like the ginger one.
I bought 140 bottles of Sunshine when they were going from the smaller size to the bigger size, because they were getting rid of them like 75% off or something like that. And so I bought 70 of each, 140 Sunshines of the ginger and the blueberry. And that's why I've been drinking clementine here for a while after that, because I just got like, I'll probably go back to them after a couple of years. But yeah, after that many bottles, it's like I need a new flavor, which is why I'm stoked with the new one that's coming out.
They're so good.
So good. Christy,
Seth,
thanks for coming in.
yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about the future of this podcast.
With this quality guest still on here, who knows what'll happen.
Said I missed most of the podcast.
Yeah, we were needing you to pull up some things on there and prove that I was not absolutely crazy.